tribe members, along with UCI faculty and staff, are seeking to address the invisibility of Native nations through active relationship building, community engagement, and action.
I asked them how they all got their gender. One of my students is here. And it's like, the point is, how did you get it and do you like it? And if you like it, that's great, cool. Great, but who gave it to you? And then we look at reinforcing and how socialization happens and the punishments and that's what the hallway is about in the picture. The hallway is we all already know how to respond in that hallway. Every hallway that looks like that, we don't yell, we don't scream, we don't get up, right? Your docile body's floating down the line, and that's exactly how we become into. So I push back that way to say, do you want it?
There's tons of stuff out there about trans kids today. It's out there in the ether, and that's been accompanied by huge shifts in the kind of clinical management of these kids, where we now have an affirmative model that didn't exist 20 years ago. It just didn't. There was the reparative model and people doing a few other things, and there wasn't a lot of sort of intellectual or institutional infrastructure around a different way, and that's changed.
The transcript is really interesting because it's them discussing, then they interview my parents, then I'm in the room, and they do the draw a doll, and they do all the stupid things they do, and then they talk about us after we leave. And so as a researcher, that's just first-hand data. Like, they're just, well, I don't know, we're creating some kind of Frankensteins with these children, and we have the markers for the effeminate boy study, but we're not sure with these tomboys, because, most of them will grow up to be normal females. What's a normal female?
I just have to imagine, what was the consent process? What was signing you on for therapy, but you end up in a study? I'm just wondering about the actual, obviously there was very few ethics in a particular way,
Yeah.
but I'm just wondering what your parents were told when they first brought you.
Nobody asked my consent, that's all I know. Like, for sure, nobody asked my consent.
And when I did my dissertation where you have to do the consent thing, we were all laughing that the damage had already been done.
I was asking myself, why am I so like why is this diagnosis so on target for me? Like, how could that be? What's wrong with me? And then I was like, oh wait, they made the diagnosis out of my life. Like, they used me to make the diagnosis.